bit delayed, but I guess they must be.
On the northern sector, the activities that our troops have been engaged in have largely been on pacification and humanitarian assistance, including aggressive patrolling to dominate the space and deny the Al-Shabaab room for movement. This has seen a lot of expansion in areas that we have taken control over with regard to domination. Now, that is the events that have been taking place in the northern sector. Now, naturally, I should go to the central sector, but I want to skip the central sector by design, go to the south sector, and then come back to the central sector. Now, in the southern sector, the troops there have also been very busy carrying out pacification, humanitarian assistance, carrying out door-to-door flushing out of Al-Shabaab elements that might still be hiding within the population, but also trying to restrict their movement so as to deny them space. Now, I skipped the central sector because the events that have been taking place in those two sectors have contributed to what we are seeing that have taken place in the central sector. By denying Al-Shabaab movement, by denying them room to maneuver in the central and the southern, in the northern and the southern sector, we have seen them moving towards the central sector. And that explains why the central sector has been a little bit more busy in the last 7 days as compared to the other two sectors. And on that Monday, acting again on information that we received from the local people, that is KDF together with the TFG, the troops were able to raid an Al-Shabaab logistic base at a place called Bibi. Bibi is somewhere in between Kismayu and Afmado. This was an Al-Shabaab base, and the raid that was carried out on Monday did destroy a cache of weapons, did confiscate various logistic elements of Al-Shabaab, but in addition to that, four Al-Shabaab members were arrested and 5 donkeys were also arrested. Were also captured. Were captured. Now that is significant. Those donkeys, because donkeys are actually means of transportation that Al-Shabaab has been using in this operation from some point that I'll again mention. Now, on Tuesday, which was the 29th, there was another activity, again based on information that we did receive from the local people with regard to a convoy of Al-Shabaab that was moving from Kismayu headed to Afmado, and an ambush was laid, again by the TFG-KDF alliance, and in that ambush, 4 tractors, and again I'm sure that you have this already because I know you have got other maybe people informing you from across. 4 tractors were captured with logistics, and 2 Al-Shabaab members were killed and 3 arrested. When music changes, the rhythm of the dance must also do what? Must also change. Meaning that we had an answer to that. So what has been happening is owed to the answer that we had to Al-Shabaab change of tactics. Now, how did Al-Shabaab change tactics? They stopped moving in large concentrations and began moving in small concentrations. They stopped using technicals and they began using donkeys. Now, the challenge that somebody thought would be posed to us, how do we identify Al-Shabaab from within the local community? How do we segregate them from the normal person now that they're working in small communities, small groups of people? And I did mention here that the answer lies from the people themselves. And the successes that I'm going to mention here are actually owed to information that we have been receiving from the local people. Al-Shabaab has three major options left to them. And the first option is to defect. And already we have received some defection from Al-Shabaab. We have a senior leader from Al-Shabaab who has fought just about all his life in the battlefield, who defected because of increased losses that they have been incurring. So he is in our custody. We're interrogating him. But what do we expect to see? We expect to see a lot more defections coming from Al-Shabaab. If they do not defect, the second option is surrender. If they cannot defect, they cannot surrender, then there's one third option, which is take a flight or take a sail and just get out of Somalia. And really, the Somali people should be concerned so much about their own country. Why would people come from the diaspora to die in Somalia, when they themselves, the people in Somalia themselves, are sick and tired of Al-Shabaab? I'm just saying that those people will stop coming when they get rid of Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab is using people from outside to try to push the agenda across, which is not anything that is definitive, something they can actually hold on to. It's for that reason what you're saying, that anybody who could be thinking of coming to join Al-Shabaab, we are telling them what you're coming to do is to die. The figures don't lie. All right, so I'm giving you what is accurate. We have lost 4 soldiers. That is from enemy fire. We did lose 5 soldiers from the crash helicopter. We have 11, now 10. Last week we had 11, now we have 10 in hospital. One of them has been taken back to the battlefield. So you have 10 injured who are still being treated in hospital, and 1 is still missing at sea. So as of now, that is the status of our casualty levels. In local terms, we can actually say that Al-Shabaab has been like a rogue baby elephant, trampling on the local Somali people. Now, areas that rogue baby elephant has been removed out of, people can have a sigh of relief. People can actually go through their daily lives as normal, like any other free person. And therefore, areas that are still under the control of Al-Shabaab, we are asking the people there, do not allow yourself to be intimidated by Al-Shabaab.